Just this morning, the Maine race for the Blaine House got a little bigger. News Center Maine's Christian Harsa was at this morning's opening campaign event for a familiar face here in Maine. He joins us live. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Brian. That's right. Maine's former CDC director, Dr. Nirav Shah, is running for governor.
I stand before you today to announce that I am running to be the next governor of Maine.
Shah is running as a Democrat, joining half a dozen other contenders for the primary ticket. Those at home will know Shah best for his leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic, and Shah did not let that credibility go to waste. That credibility will be helpful for Shah, who has not been elected to office before, making this Democratic primary his first test at the ballot box. Shah, a lawyer, economist, and medical doctor, says the focus of his campaign is on helping the Maine people where he says they are struggling the most.
We will, under my administration, feed kids, fix housing, fund healthcare, and fuel growth.
Yes. Shah is entering a crowded field with Hannah Pingree, Shanna Bellows, Troy Jackson, and Angus King III all running, making name recognition a commodity, not a rare asset in this Democratic primary. Shah is off to Lewiston, Waterville, and finally Brunswick, where I will be live this evening, bringing us more on his campaign. Brian?
Christian Harsa live for us this noontime from Portland with today's announcement. Thank you. Also, Political Brew host Phil Hirschkorn joining us as well this noontime for a little analysis. So, Phil, you were at this morning's announcement, again, right in downtown Portland. You also spoke with him one-on-one ahead of today's launch, which was this morning. So, what are your impressions right now?
Well, good speech, simple speech, less than 15 minutes, 50 friendly faces in the room, looked like mostly friends. I didn't see a lot of other politicians. Mr. Shah was there. But, I think, as Christian was saying, he's really trying to underscore the trust and admiration, frankly, among Mainers that he built during the pandemic, saying of his leadership, I did it before and I'm ready to do it again. Of course, there's been a lot of second guessing of pandemic restrictions that he and other public officials advocated, especially those school closures. He told me in our interview he stands by most of those decisions, but if he knew then what he knows now, that kids were not that severely affected by COVID, he would have suggested dialing back the school closures. Looking forward, Shah's really talking about the affordability crisis, from housing to heating oil. He proposes, for example, what he calls a GI Bill for housing to help folks pay for a down payment on their home. And as a Democrat, he called out President Trump and what he perceives as threats to democracy, saying, if Trump's authoritarians come for Maine or Mainers, they'll have to go through me. Until now, most of us had seen Shah as nonpartisan, and because of that, I asked him in our interview, after all, what makes him a Democrat?
That is, to me, what it means to be the essence of a Democrat, to care about other people and make sure that we're providing for them. Even if that means when times are tough, we all have to dig a little bit deeper, that we're ultimately caring for other people. Whether that's through social services, whether that's rights like reproductive access, or whether that's pushing back against the creeping authoritarianism that we are seeing, those to me are the core values of what it means to be a Democrat right now, and that's why I'm proud to be running as a Democrat.
Dr. Shah said he's also campaigning against incivility and cynicism in our public discourse. He's got quite a challenge ahead of him. Those names that Christian mentioned, Hannah Pingree, Troy Jackson, yes. Shanna Bellows, all longtime office holders in the state of Maine.
Very familiar names as well. So again, we're just a few hours into the official announcement for his campaign. Where at this point would you say are his liabilities?
Well, again, it's his first race, so he's obviously articulate. He knows what he stands for, and he's communicating that. But he has never run for office before, so we'll see how he does. I would also point out, for what it's worth, he's not a native Mainer. He's lived 42 of his 48 years outside of the state of Maine, growing up in Wisconsin, going to college in Kentucky, graduate school in Illinois. But he says that, when you go through a crisis, like we all did collectively during the pandemic, it makes you part of a family, and he and his wife feel very strongly that Maine is their home.
So again, Phil Hirschkorn with that one-on-one conversation with Dr. Shah. We'll also have that on News Center Maine Plus,
That's
free
right.
streaming app.
Posted now.
All right, we'll check
15
it out.
minutes if you can stand it.
All right, Phil, great to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
so
see
much.
you. Thank you.